All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Colorful and a Moon. This was taken from the TED Cup, and well, promises to be a very entertaining Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror match. Colorful spawning as the blue Night Elf on the bottom left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the top right, we have Moon spawning as the yellow Night Elf. Night Elf versus Night Elf mirror matches tend to have some different and differing strategies. Early Huntresses, Priestess of the Moon, some crazy Tavern Hero style play, as it is going to be, well, a Reign of Chaos classic Demon Hunter going up against that Priestess of the Moon as the primary heroes. Let's go ahead and slow things down to normal speed as this game does get underway. Off to the north hand side, we're going to be looking at the Huntress, or the Priestess of the Moon, already making its way out, going after this Forest Troll Trapper and Forest Troll Berserker creep camp. The Hunter's Hall is being placed down, and now the follow-up question for Moon's strategy is, when is he going to tech to tier 2? Priestess of the Moon and Hunts early on are very, very powerful, but they do get diminishing returns. Colorful off on the other hand, with that early Demon Hunter, could go for a number of different styles and strategies as well. Dryads do work well. We've often also seen Keeper of the Grove as a follow-up hero, and then going into Thorn's aura with bears as well, and having that mirror match. Nice Miranda of the Moon against the anti-mage. Yep, exactly that. All right, let's gonna see what's happening there. There is a Moonwell getting canceled once more. We're looking at Moon sitting at 21 over 20 supply right now. Currently supply blocked as, whoop, there goes my light. All right. There, and there's another Moonwell being placed in the back. All right, meanwhile, the Priestess of the Moon with, did he actually go? Yes, went for Searing Arrows first. Normally you see True Shot Aura, but instead actually opting for Searing Arrows coming in from Moon, as both sides are just putting pressure in the other base. Priestess of the Moon sitting in this position here, Searing Arrows, trying to lay waste to some of these wisps here, as the Priestess of the Moon is maybe able to rack up quite a bit of damage, or perhaps drain some Moonwells. There you are. There's a little bit more damage as the tech to tier 2 has already started for Colorful. Meanwhile, Moon has not tech to tier 2 as of yet, and is now going after the Tree of Life for some very superficial damage. Not going to get very far, and actually drained out quite a bit of mana as well. All right, this Priestess of the Moon pretty much has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide, and will end up needing to escape, as we are looking at the archers trying to get in a surround here. All right, the archers, just not enough of them to really surround that Priestess of the Moon, as we're looking at an Ancient of War, a Moonwell being built off to the side. So dual Ancient of Wars, and going for the Ultra Vision now, and also perhaps going to be getting some weapons upgrades later. Now, Moon's downside is that he did drain a fair amount of mana from that Priestess of the Moon, but he doesn't have to worry about mana burn just quite yet. By using up a lot of that mana, though, that Priestess of the Moon cannot absorb that much damage, because if he tries to drink from those Moonwells, the Moonwell juice will also replenish that mana, and well, that's not exactly what he wants. He only wants to regenerate hit points and not mana. It would be funny if Demon Hunter goes Immolation because of lack of units to burn mana. Well, the Priestess of the Moon may actually constantly stay low on may actually constantly stay low on mana because of those Searing Arrows first, and now the Priestess of the Moon is going to be forced to try and retreat back. All right, back off to the north here. The tech to tier 2 has not been started, something that I mentioned earlier. Meanwhile, the Panda is already out in play by Colorful. Colorful, with that breath of fire, should be able to blow things over pretty quickly. Meanwhile, Moon's Ancient of War is taking a beating, but keeps on ticking still, as we are going after some more of these creep camps. Priestess of the Moon, and looks like it does have True Shot Aura as that second ability. Now going after that Rock Golem as well. It's going to get taken down, and only one Forest Troll Trapper left after this. All right, Rock Golem is going to fall here. What item? Potion of Invulnerability, as the Priestess of the Moon seemingly draining mana like it's going out of style, not wanting to suffer at the hands of perhaps a Demon Hunter and that level 2 mana burn. Never give his opponent, well, good opportunities to try and mana burn those heroes. All right, Huntress is going after the, well, this easy Murloc creep camp here. Sentry Ward does spot the Priestess of the Moon crossing across the center. Or crossing the center, crossing across. Yeah, use less words when possible. Crota. All right, the Priestess of the Moon now gets to level 3. Level 2 True Shot Aura, that Priestess already up to plus 8 damage before even using those Searing Arrows. And I gotta say, the Priestess of the Moon, perhaps one of the lowest hitting agility-based heroes in the game, as we're going to go ahead and see a quick shadow meld. There is a dust of appearance as the Priestess of the Moon is going to be forced to retreat back. All right, couple of Wisp could easily get cleaned up as well. There goes another. There is also one Wisp off to the north here, and I'm sure Moon spots all of this. Not quite sure why he hasn't really bothered to clean it up as of yet. We are getting in some Moon armor for Moon's army, as the Huntress is now, well, looking to put in some pressure on these Moonwells. An army of archers are here ready to start pelting damage back, though, as we are taking, well, nope, staying at Tree of Ages and getting up an Ancient of Lore, but also getting up a second Ancient of War as well. Demon Hunter running by an army of Huntresses here. Priestess of the Moons all getting even more damage bonus as the level 1 weapon and armor upgrades are done. Moon is still staying at tier 1 with this mass Huntress strategy and now looking to retreat back here. Those Dryads, however, with the slow poison causing problems as the Priestess of the Moon trying to find proper positioning and, well, perhaps when to engage against that Demon Hunter and Demon Hunter Panda combination. All right, that Sheep just gonna get in the way here, still sitting at tier 1. Colorful keeping track of his opponents. Moon's strategy as we are going into Glaive Throwers and Ancient Protectors. There's a Breath of Fire, the Scroll of Protection also being thrown down here as the Demon Hunter is, well, seemingly trapped in a difficult spot. Scroll of Healing still has plenty of use here as the archers are taking a little bit of damage. Scroll of Protection bouncing. How is the Glaive bounce going to work as the Moonwells are now constantly getting drained here? Meanwhile, coming back on the other side, Breath of Fire blows over Glaive Thrower as the Ancient Protectors are still trying to be thrown down here. It looks as though the Ancient Protector will easily get taken down. One poor rabbit actually taking a bit of focus fire as the Demon Hunter forcing a cancellation on one and now may be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back out. Panda down to 145 hit points before Scroll of Town Portal comes back the other way as the Glaive Throwers should be able to cause a little bit of separation here. Priestess of the Moon still has plenty of, or has some hit points and can use that Scroll of Healing rather effectively as one Ancient Protector already done. The Glaive Throwers are going to try and put in the, try to continue with that pressure as they are getting summoned up here. All right, there is a quick cancel there as one of the Glaive Throwers were taken down by Colorful's own Glaive Throwers, ready for this counter push. All right, Ancient Protector quickly rooting itself, but it's not going to be able to stick around for very long. The Glaive Throwers with that siege damage going to take down that fortified armored Ancient Protector so quickly. Back off to the north, Wisps are being brought into the battle for some, healing, as the Colorful could purposely aggro the Ogre Lord here to try and drag them into this Huntress train. All right, Huntresses, however, rightfully guessed what was going to be happening with Moon's army and instead purposely keeps its distance for a little while, trying to find a little bit of an opening. Moon is sitting in that, low upkeep low upkeep position right now for 53 over 60, kind of like in limbo, not quite sure if he wants to go up or perhaps take down one of the Huntresses so that he is not behind economically. All right, Rock Golem is right there as well. The Priestess of the Moon could try and get in a little bit more damage. There are some Searing Arrows. Demon Hunter going to come back the other side. Mana Burn is still inefficient as there are now 3 Glaive Throwers off on the north and then 2 Glaive Throwers off on that south side. 50 over 50 compared to 56 over 60. Priestess of the Moon perhaps going to try and buy another Scroll of Healing. Nope, doesn't buy anything, just visits the shop for no reason. as we're going to be looking at an engagement here. Priestess of the Moon getting caught in a rather uncomfortable spot. Damage a breath of fire after the drunken haze, as both sides are still engaging here. All right, we're going to see a little bit of bounce glaive damage. The Priestess of the Moon does have that scroll of protection. Scroll of healing was used already. Perhaps those were repurchased, as the Priestess of the Moon now gets up to level 4. There goes another glaive thrower as well, as the Priestess of the Huntress is able to get in a lot of bounce damage here. Meanwhile, the glaives of Moon are now currently in trouble, but so are the heroes of Colorful, as Colorful is trying to regroup back with the rest of that army here. After going after the Panda, the Demon Hunter still able to get in some free damage across multiple units, as the Demon Hunter now completely surrounded. But the Demon Hunter does have evasion, the Demon Hunter does have a potion of healing, and more importantly, the Brewmaster has a staff of preservation, as the Panda now gets up to level 3 as well. Back down to the south side here, Demon Hunter could have some bad days. Glaives are now still finding more and more units, as the Demon Hunter fighting in a sea of Moonwells trying to stay alive. Archer could get taken down as well. Priestess or Moon's Huntresses need to engage here, as the Panda gets taken down, giving level 5 to the Priestess of the Moon. Priestess of the Moon now going into level 3 True Shot Aura. There goes another Huntress, though. True Shot Aura works better when you have a lot of Huntresses, and Colorful is making sure that there are not that many out on the battlefield. 39 supply compared to 60, as a little bit of superficial damage on to the Ancient of War. Demon Hunter, back up to 340 hit points. Potion of healing coupled with, picking and dropping of items. It helped healing up that Demon Hunter rather fast. Coming back around, though, Priestess of the Moon could actually get to Starfall range very soon, as there is still constant pressure to be had. A Demon Hunter now trying to go after the Priestess of the Moon here. Demon Hunter may have to start actually mana burning his opponent once he goes for level 2 mana burn, still staying at level 1 evasion. Off to the north here, a couple of Huntresses were playing at the fountain, getting back up to a decent amount of health, as the archers are going to end up taking a little bit of glaive bounce damage again. Huntress, low hit point Huntress, is trying to retreat back. New full hit point Huntress is going to be joining back in. One Huntress not able to make the exiting party, as another archer gets taken down. Priest of the Moon sitting at level 5 right now, and has no easy way to get out. Is it going to actually be able to escape here? That is the question, as some more damage is still racking up. Another archer gets taken down there, as the Priest of the Moon down to 150 hit points and needs to run away. If it runs away, perhaps going to head off to a fountain, heal up. The Moonwells are still fairly full, as one Huntress is still healing up with 2 more. Coming in from behind. All right, it looks as though quick potion of invulnerability, trying to get in a little bit of damage, and the Demon Hunter says, I don't want to stick around in this fight. You have a little bit too much going for you there. Let's go ahead and back up a bit. Priestess of the Moon escapes away at 80 hit points. More Huntresses are being added. Plenty of Huntresses here. Shadow Meld, we're looking at midnight, so there's still a bit of time before, the cover of darkness stops protecting those Huntresses at this very active creep camp. 41 supply army, 1-1 upgrades going up against 1-0. Colorful is at tier 2, has not gone to tier 3, has a second hero in that Panda, and that Breath of Fire is going to become increasingly important, as the Priestess of the Moon looks to back away, picking up a scroll of healing. No scroll of protection this time around, though, as he is a bit lower on gold. Priestess of the Moon plus 13 damage before adding in the Searing Arrows effect. And, these Huntresses all essentially have 4-1 upgrades. Priestess of the Moon now going to go ahead and make its way down. Huntress now going to get into position, as the Priestess, or as the Glaive Thrower, now going to be making its position down across here. What is happening? What is going on? Glaive Throwers should be able to launch quite a bit of attacks here in just a little bit. Priests or Demon Hunter, Dryads, Panda now trying to retreat back here. There's a quick mana burn again, and here we are. There's a Breath of Fire going across all of that front line position. Priestess of the Moon still looking to do a little bit of a dance back and forth, able to put in a bit of pressure onto that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now looking to fall back, as the Panda and the Archers unsure of how to hold this door here. 45 over 50 supply. Gold mines still have about 6 or 5.5 minutes left, as the Glaive Throwers and Priestess of the Moon constantly just buying items to stay topped off. this solo Priestess of the Moon, causing quite a bit of problems at the being driven by Moon here, and this counter push could be the one that gives the Priestess of the Moon level 6. If that is the case, Colorful needs to start doing mana burns onto that level 5 Priestess of the Moon. Scroll of Protection being used there as the Demon Hunter perhaps expects that Priestess of the Moon is getting closer to 6 mana is going to be a major issue as the Glaive Throwers are starting to throw damage at the Dryads. And, well, the Dryads are taking quite a bit of it because of their unarmored armor type. Continuing to fight their way through. And you're going to see, well, Dryads getting splatted up here, Priestess of the Moon, and dealing quite a bit of damage, and more damage still getting racked up here. Glaive still bouncing around. AoE damage from that Breath of Fire as the Priestess of the Moon, very close to level 6 now, gets to level 6, but is now out of mana. No Starfall possibility as the Demon Hunter does get to level 4 and should be able to keep that Priestess of the Moon's mana in check. That was an absolute bloodbath. Both sides going from 50 over 50 supply down to, into the mid 20s. You can see all of the corpses here just surrounding that Ancient of War, almost like, well, offering up sacrifices to a god of war. Yeah, that's a lot of corpses right there. And remember, some of those Dryads do not leave corpses when they die. They just leave blood splatter. So, yeah, that was a very, very bloody battle indeed. Does the Catapult have Vorpal upgrades? I wish I knew. I'm trying to keep track of those small, minor details as well. It doesn't seem like they are splashing through, though, but I would have a hard time believing that Moon didn't get that upgrade since he's gone for so many Glaive Throwers. Anyways, coming back around, Priestess of the Moon trying to rack up damage, takes on a Dryad onto a unit there. Mana burn onto the Priestess of the Moon as the Priestess of the Moon wants to get into Starfall mana capacity, but has not been able to do that. Breath of Fire across the majority of the army there as the Huntress is now looking to retreat back. That Breath of Fire bringing some of those Huntresses down into the red zone. Priestess of the Moon looking to retreat back here. Perhaps Searing Arrows level 3 may have been the better call. Difficult to spot. And, well, there's no real way for Colorful to know whether or not there is that Starfall. You can see now Moon switching back into Searing Arrows to get in a little bit more damage instead of having that mana damage being reflected back onto the hero because of that mana burn. All the Moonwells are bone dry here. No real home field advantage. Not even an Ancient of Wonders at this point and stage in the game. 37 supply compared to 35. Both sides are still fairly even as the Demon Hunter gonna try and, well, do a little bit of creeping. 2 level 5 heroes often beats a single level 6 hero just because of those abilities here as the Priestess of the Moon wants to escape away. Huntress, gonna go ahead and jump on into a Goblin Zeppelin here. Meanwhile, off to the north, well, cold or slow poison causing problems. That's going to get picked up as well as the Ancient of War joining in on a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, Staff of Preservation brings back the Demon Hunter. I didn't even zoom in, and it somehow just stuttered in a little bit more. All right, coming back through. Panda gonna try and, well, get a Breath of Fire across all of these units here. Dryads finding a little bit of opening. Priestess of the Moon coupled with those Huntresses able to get in a little bit of damage across all of those archers here. Are we gonna see some Goblin Zeppelin micro? Yes, we do. Look at how much damage is being mitigated right now, or how many Huntresses are just low on hit points and need to get healed back up. Waiting for Nightfall could not happen fast enough for Moon and the use of those fountains of health. Meanwhile, Priestess of the Moon still playing a little bit of a dangerous game here, trying to aggro the Demon Hunter and the Panda and preventing them from clearing out this Ogre Lord creep camp. All right, the Huntress waiting for Nightfall. You're gonna take another take another couple of seconds here as the Priestess of the Moon now retreats back off to the north. Once Nightfall begins, you better believe that and those Huntresses are gonna be really trying to heal back up. Are we gonna get a surround? Or we could get a surround, and the Demon Hunter finally suddenly finds himself completely surrounded. Demon Hunter, is he gonna be able to survive here? I don't believe so. Even with all that evasion, beautifully done. A Huntress surround seemingly out of nowhere as Colorful loses a level 4 Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter resurrected at the tavern now as the Panda and the Demon Hunter look to clear out the creep camp. Back down to the south side here, we are at only Tree of Ages. No sign of Druids of the Claw at all for additional hit points or additional tech for bears, as the Priestess of the Moon is still retreating back away. Meanwhile, yes, the Huntresses really benefiting from that fountain of health right now, as the Priestess of the Moon quickly going to shadow meld and try and force an engagement here. What's going to go down? Priestess of the Moon actually in a little bit of trouble. That slow poison trying to get in front of that Priestess of the Moon, and now adding in a sheep, causing some problems. All right, Priestess of the Moon trying to retreat back away. Is it going to be forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal? That is the question. The Priestess of the Moon down to 200 hit points, uses a Scroll of Healing to try and stay alive, and Goblin Zeppelin picks him up. Zeppelin play, very, very, very impressive Zeppelin play, allowing Moon to escape with that low hit point Priestess of the Moon, and now the counterattack is going to begin inside the base. However, that Tree of Ages is already on the move, realizing that it needs to make its way over there. It has Nature's Blessing, though, so able to walk quite a bit faster than his opponent's unit. Zeppelin, this one Zeppelin holds 8 Huntresses, and while they are all full on hit points, ready for war, ready for some action, as this Tree of Ages going to perhaps absorb some damage from this Null Overseer, or Null Overseer creep camp. Huntress is looking to do a bit of a drop off over here as well. Priestess of the Moon needs to clear out this creep camp off to the north. Doesn't have that much support. Going to bring in some glaives as this Zeppelin, unsure of where to go next, should easily just drop in here and clear out all of the wisps, making it difficult for Color to even mine gold when the time comes. All right, back off to the north here. Damage getting racked up. A Null Overseer trying to get in some damage. What is this Goblin Zeppelin doing? Not engaging, as the Tree of Ages will be trying to entangle this gold mine here in just a little bit. Moon, 23 minutes into this game, still sitting at tier 1 after all this time, as the Priestess of the Moon now does have a pendant of energy to use as well. A couple of wisps we're going to try and repair here. Let's look. We are going to be going into Dryads, trying to clear up this Fountain of a Health creep camp, as the Tree of Life is going to be ready to entangle this gold mine here in just a moment. Dryads putting pressure on here. Red Drake's looking to join in on the battle, going after the Archer. That Red Drake could easily just get taken down there. Constant pressure now pulling him back once more. Ogre Magi now stuttering back as well, as this Goblin Zeppelin still not doing anything after all this time. Well, got to keep an eye on that, as Moon doesn't quite to know how he wants to have some follow-up play. There are multiple, I repeat, multiple Zeppelins in the air, so drops could be happening at any of the two bases here in just a moment, as the Dryads are now making their way over. I think Moon wants to hide his Huntresses in case Colorful runs over to his Expo with his Dryads. Well, yeah, that could be the case. Off to the north here, we do see the Expo is getting established. We are already looking, or 5 out of 5 Wisps already trying to make their way over. The Priestess of the Moon is here, and it is invisible. Is he going to try and do a Starfall here? That is a question. He could also trap that Demon Hunter in that spot if he wanted to, but the Dryads and the Archers are also in position. Here we are at full saturation, both sides, and getting up their gold mines, pretty much running at the same exact time, as the Priestess of the Moon is currently just hiding right in front of Colorful, and perhaps going to make an interesting play here in a little bit. All right, one Priestess of the Moon. What is going to happen here? Are we going to look? Oh, there's a Staff of Preservation. There's a Starfall, and here we are. There goes the engagement. There's the Mana Burn. And with Starfall right there and the sudden appearance of the army, that damage does rack up quickly. Huntresses are now getting in some damage onto the Tree of Ages as well. Wisps do not want to come out. The Goblin Zeppelin now being brought back over. Starfall just raining down damage. And that invisible surprise causing major problems, as Colorful not going to be able to save that Tree of Ages at all. Getting up to level 7, Priestess of the Moon still racking up more damage. Starfall falling and taking down so many of the Wisps as well. 26 over 40 supply, as damage still going 35 supply compared to 23, as Moon has taken a significant lead and is now continuing to fight his way through. Panda, however, could try and Breath of Fire over finish things off here. Does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Is he going to use it? Saves it and gets away at 21 hit points. One of the Glaive Throwers, however, does not make it. Huntress is now going after the Dryads here. Both sides trying to fight their way through. Our archers are trying to dodge a bit of that damage, and the two Huntresses don't seem like they'll be able to win out in this fight as the Demon Hunter comes over to the battle as well. Those low hit point archers, well, trying to get away from the Huntress, however, because it has higher hit points than the archers, actually heals at a faster rate. So there was some weird math going on there, but the only math you need to know about is 1 is greater than 0 mining bases. Colorful uprooting and doing an Ancient of Lore and Ancient of War trek off to the north to try and take down Moon's base here. Dryads are now trying to retreat back here. Demon Hunter perhaps going to try to go after the Priestess of the Moon as well. Priestess of the Moon, Starfall still has a 70-second cooldown and just trying to buy a little bit of time. The Priestess of the Moon taking quite a bit of serious damage here, as the Priestess of the Moon is the only one getting aggroed by those creeps. There's a follow-up mana burn as the Ancients of War are now making the trek off to the north. Priestess of the Moon trying to double back around, perhaps regroup, get into that Goblin Zeppelin and get away. Is going to be able to do exactly that. No, finishing off a Wisp first, and then we'll be heading into that Goblin Zeppelin. One Ancient of Lore and an Ancient of Wonders, the only Ancients left back in the base here. 25 supply compared to 38, as we are going to have a base race scenario. There is still a fair number of Huntresses being trained up here, as the Dryads are showing up to the party to try and shut down this Tree of Life. Panda is in position to get off a big Breath of Fire if it needs to. There's a Breath of Fire, but it misses the target, so to speak, as the damage is still getting racked on up. Tree of Life down to 700 hit points. It is massively trying to get repaired. Breath of Fire could be inbound. No repairs, as we are looking at more and more damage coming back on through. Coming back on the other side, Moon is now trying to win this through a base race scenario. All right, Huntresses are trying to take down all of these buildings off to the north here. Wisp are trying to retreat back. Is there enough enough buildings out on the battlefield for Colorful to actually try and win this? 19 over 10 supply. It looks like it is going to be a base race, and Moon is going to win this just because he has more buildings. All right, Tree of Life finally taken down. So both sides operating without a tree of, well, a mining base at all. All right, Colorful's last building could get taken down right here. No, there's Ancients of War. I forgot. The Ancients of War, which look like little units out on the battlefield, they are actually up and mobile and able to stay alive. But they will be revealed in just a moment, as there is no main base, so you can't really hide those buildings that well. All right, Staff of Preservation. Where does it? Well, brings it to the Dryad off to the north here. The closest main building, Ancient of Lore, taking a little bit of damage. And what is going on here? The Dryad actually needs to get closer if it wants to try and heal. It does have a little bit of time to heal at this Fountain of Health. Dryads can try and heal at the Fountain of Health, but the Huntresses could perhaps spell some major big problems here, as the Demon Hunter now tries to make its way back over. There's a Shadow Meld. There's a Dust of Appearance. One of Moon's Huntresses will get taken down, but it will not give that crucial level 6 to any of the two heroes. All right, buildings, Glaive Throwers getting dropped off to try and take down the Ancient of War. That is 4 Glaive Throwers right there picked up, and, well, just using that siege, using that Glaive Thrower's very far range damage, and in order to try and, well, do a little bit more plays. Meanwhile, Moon aggroing the creep camps to force Colorful's Dryads to retreat back away again. Zeppelin. That Zeppelin pretty much represents the biggest threat to the buildings, as the buildings are just trying to run around. There is, three Ancients left, 1 Ancient of Wind, 2 Ancients of War, continuing to just try and make a play somehow. Moon's Moonwell going to be destroyed here, as the Ancients are still trekking on their way over. There is one Ancient of War here and one Ancient of War here as well. But remember, they do not have Nature's Blessing, meaning that they are going to be in a little bit of a difficult spot if it does turn into an Ancient versus Ancient race. Priestess of the Moon still going after the Dryads. Mana Burn could go down on. Oh, there's a Staff of Preservation and actually takes it into harms, into position to get harmed even further as the Dryads are trying to find ways to just heal up. All right. Demon Hunter trying to catch up. Demon Hunter does have Boots of Speed, but so does the Priestess of the Moon, who's sitting at level 7. There is another Mana Burn as well, as the Glaive Throwers are going after all of those units again. Dryads could go after the Zeppelin. The Zeppelin, are they going to get taken down? There's a Staff of Preservation for the save there. Very low hit point. Dryad able to live and fight again. Demon Hunter heading back down. Goblin Zeppelin going to go ahead and head to the skies, as well as the Priestess of the Moon is still running around in circles. 16 supply army going up against 35. Both sides still have a decent chance as long as no one makes a drastic mistake. They should be in this game, as the Demon Hunter now going after that Priestess of the Moon. Demon Hunter could have a little bit of problems, though, as the Huntresses and the Glaive Throwers throwing everything they got at that Demon Hunter again. Dryad's going to attempt to heal up. We are looking at this Zeppelin with 4 Glaive Throwers. This Zeppelin with a squadron with 4 Huntresses and 1 Glaive Thrower, as the Demon Hunter is still racking up damage onto that Priestess of the Moon. Moon, however, still has some very, very nice topped-off Moon Wells, as the Panda shows up to the party to cause a little bit of problems. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? There's a Mana Burn right there. Staff of Preservation saves as it teleports the Demon Hunter back into a much more favorable position, but the Priestess of the Moon could be going back to try and meet and greet this Demon Hunter here, who is currently in a bit of a situation. Demon Hunter down to 159 hit points. Off to the north here, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, finding all of those Huntresses. A little bit more damage to rack up here during the day, which, well, the damage does stick better during day overall. Panda trying to find a way to fight, and are we going to see a bit of a counter push here 32 minutes into this game? And still no one with a clear-cut path to victory. All it's going to take is one misstep here, as the Demon Hunter, there's a Breath of Fire. Demon Hunter continuing to fight his way through. We're going to try to go after some Huntresses, but no. Moon gets the win over Colorful. Colorful trying to make something happen, but was unable to deal with the fact that Moon still had Moon Wells and was able to heal up easily. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.